Chapter 6, Monopolistic Competition and Oligopoly. Since we can't have perfect competition and we try real hard not to get too close to a monopoly, where does that leave us? Imperfect competition. Imperfect competition really has two flavors, but they have one thing in common. In each model, the seller has an impact on price. In monopolistic competition, you have the same four areas, product, sellers, entry, and information, but they're a bit different between monopoly and perfect competition. First is differentiated product. The product is similar, but it has variations that make it unique. Carl, Ronald, Wendy, and the King all sell burgers, but Ronald has secret sauce. The King lets you have it your way. Wendy's are square, and Carl charbroils the thing. The production is the same. The only difference is the uniqueness of the product. So which one is the best burger? There are a bunch of sellers. Everyone sells burgers. Main chains, restaurants, small mom and pops. I've even seen burgers sold at Arco stations, gas station hamburgers. If Jack rises the prices of burgers, you're going to go to Ronald, Carl, or the King. Barriers to entry exist, but these barriers are kind of small. A small business loan, a lease of a storefront, and you're ready to go. Now, making burgers is easier than making donuts because there's a lot more involved in donuts than in burgers. I mean, you can't barbecue a donut, can you? Well, you can, but imperfect information. These last two come directly from the monopoly. What's in McDonald's special sauce? You don't know, and they won't tell you. But truth is, it's Thousand Island dressing with relish. An oligopoly is the model that is more universally applicable to many producers. The product doesn't matter. It's any type of product. The product is not important. Rice is rice, burgers are burgers, and donuts are only good at my donut shop. There are a few sellers or a few content providers. Where there used to be a bunch of sellers in perfect competition, or one seller in monopoly, or a few combined with each other, there are a few interdependent sellers. Each seller has to watch the competition because one action will impact the others. I was in LA and saw a gas station selling gas for about $2.80 a gallon, and there was a line around the corner. The other three gas stations were selling at about $3.50, and their lots were empty. There are barriers to entry, and the cost of information is high, and that's pretty much the same as in a monopoly. So how does an oligopoly work? Your book talks about the elasticity of demand. Now, every driver needs gasoline. When I went on vacation, I drove through the little desert town of Jackpot, Nevada. There's only one gas pump in town, and the closest other gas pump was 45 miles away in Twin Falls, Idaho. And because it's Nevada, the gas station is right next to the casino. In Jackpot, the elasticity of supply is vertical. You have to have gas, and you have no other choice than to go to the Jackpot gas station. In Ashland, there are 5 gas stations at exit 14 off of I-5. There's an Arco, an Exxon, and Chevron. There's a Shell 76 station and the Mobil station. You know, there are 5 stations within 1,100 feet of each other. Because there's so much choice, even though you need gas, the elasticity of price is flat because you don't have to go to Exxon. Now, if BP raises the price, the business of Texaco will rise due to cross-elasticity of demand. The Arco in Ashland usually sells at 5 to 7 cents lower than everybody else, but the others still sell gas, mostly because Arco doesn't take credit cards. The demand curve is inelastic because lower prices do not lead to that much greater demand of Arco gas. Now, if Arco dramatically lowers their price, the others are going to have to follow suit. If Arco charges $2.25 and everybody else stays at $2.75, everybody else is going to suffer. But if Arco changes to $2.75 and everybody else is back at $2.80, things will go back to normal. Now, there's a term in your book called oligopolistic interdependence. That mouthful basically is what we've been talking about. Each firm in an oligopoly has to rely on everybody else for decisions about pricing or production.